ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದು ವಿನಯ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು NIOS ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂತ ನೀವು NIOS ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಶಿವಾನಂದ ಸರ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಈಗ NIOS ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ NIOS ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಿಸ್ಗೈಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮಿಸ್ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದೇ ಆಗಿದೆ. NIOS ಇಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಬೋರ್ಡ್. Around 34 schools, NIOS schools are in Bangalore, including Bishop Cotton, Baldwin's, St. Joseph's, Bethany, Army Public School, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೂ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ NIOS ಇದೆ. NIOS ಯಾಕಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಹೂ ಫೇಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟು ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿ ಮುಗಿಸುವಂಥ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡೋದೇ NIOS. NIOS ಬಂದು 1980s ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದಾಯಿತು. ಅಂದರೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಜೆ ಶಾಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾತ ಅಜ್ಜರ ಸೈನಿಕ ಕಲಕತ್ತಲ್ವೋ ಒಂದು ಅಂಗನವಾಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದ್ದು. ಮತ್ತು 1990s CBSE ಮತ್ತು NIOS ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಯಿತು. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ NIOS ಅಂತ ಆಯಿತು. ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ NIOS ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಇದನ್ನ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಗಳು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ 36 ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರು ಇವರೇ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸು. ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, NIOS ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರತಿ ಶನಿವಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರತಿ ಭಾನುವಾರ PCP ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 8 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿ ಶನಿವಾರ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ 20 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟೋಟಲ್ 28 ಮಾರ್ಕು ನಮ್ಗೆ 10th ಮತ್ತು 12ಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, 33% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಪಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಬಂದು 20-25 ನಮಗೆ PCP ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ PCPಲಿ ಹೋಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 33 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ 33%ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10% ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು 23% ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ 10th ಮತ್ತು 12ಗೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಸೈನ್ಸು, ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಫ್ರೀ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ಸು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ NIOS ಇಂದ. ನಾವೇ ಟೀಚರ್ಸು ಟೀಮೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 10ರಿಂದ 2 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೂ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಟರ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ 1-to-1 ಲರ್ನಿಂಗು ತುಂಬ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು NIOS ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ NIOS ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. 9th to 11th ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ NIOS. 9th to 0, 11th to 0. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ A, ಲೆವೆಲ್ B, ಲೆವೆಲ್ C ಅಂತ. ಲೆವೆಲ್ A ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3rd ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡು, ಲೆವೆಲ್ B 5th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡು, ಲೆವೆಲ್ C 8th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡು. NIOS ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಇವು ಕಂಬೈನ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್, ಹೋಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗು. ಹೋಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ತುಂಬ ನಾವು CBSE, NTSE ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋಂಗೆ NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ಸೊ NTSE ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ICSE ಅಥವಾ CBSE ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ನಾವು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ NIOS ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರೋಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ಲೋ ಲರ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಯಾ, ಡಿಸ್ಗ್ರಾಫಿಯಾ, ಮೈಲ್ಡ್ ಆಟಿಸಮು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಈ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟೇ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, NDA ಅಗ್ನಿವಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇದೆ. IAS ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, IPS ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, MBBS ಓದ್ಬೋದು, CET ಬರಿಬೋದು, NIOS ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ 2017 ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ NIOS ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ನ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ಈವನ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ NIOS ಕೋಟಾ ಇದೆ. ಈವನ್ ಜೈನ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 100 ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 15 ಸೀಟ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು NIOS ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. NCC ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ PES ಇದೆ, NIOS ಕೋಟಾ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಇದೆ. CET NIOS ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ PS ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್, ಅವರು ಕೂಡ NIOS ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆನ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋರು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ತಿಂಗಳು ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು NIOS ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಕಟ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಿಗಲ್ಬೋದು NIOS ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಗೆ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಿರ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ NIOS ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ದು ಒಬ್ಬರದಲ್ಲ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಇದನ್ನ ಜನಗಳು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಸ್ಲೋ ಲರ್ನರ್ಸು, ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸು ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ NIOS ಅವ್ರ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ನ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಮ್ಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಏನದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷು, ಹಿಂದಿ, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸು ಮತ್ತು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಥರ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಬೋದು. ಸೈನ್ಸು ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸನ್ನ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಥರ ತುಂಬ 72 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವುದೋ 4 ತಗೊಂಡು ಪ್ಲಸ್ 1 ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ NIOS ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಓದೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಓದ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ NIOS ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಫ್ರೀ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, 24/7 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇದಿದೆ, ಕಾಲ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೋದು. ಪ್ಲಸ್ NTSC NEET ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ, JE ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ದುಡ್ಡೆಲ್ಲ NIOS ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ NIOS ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ ಅಗತ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫ್ರೀ ನಮ್ಮದು ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ NIOS ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರೋ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟೋದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಂಗಿದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಜನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. NIOS ಇದೆ ಅಂತಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. NIOS ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಫೇಕ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಪಗಂಡ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫೇಕ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ 36 ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲ NIOS ಇದೆ. NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ 16,000 ಜನ ಎನ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಐಫೈ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋರು. ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಏನಂತಾರೆ NIOS ಇಸ್ ಎನ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಸ್ಲೋ ಲರ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕಿಡ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋರು NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಟು ರನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಬೇರೆ. ಬಟ್ NIOS ಈಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಔಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೋಗಾಗ್ತಿರೋರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಫೋಬಿಯಾ, ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚರು ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಏನೋ ಬೈದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು NIOSಗೆ. ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಎನ್ರೋಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 10th ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ NIOS ಎನ್ರೋಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಎನ್ರೋಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೇಲ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಕೂಡ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ NIOS $750 ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಈ ಬೋರ್ಡೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ NIOS ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟನ್ನು NIOS ಆಫೀಸ್ ಬಂದು ಮಲ್ಲೇಶ್ವರಂ PUC ಬೋರ್ಡ್ 3rd ಫ್ಲೋರಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೆದಕಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳಿ NIOS ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತು, 3-4 ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ವಿಷಯ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ನೇನಾದ್ರು NIOS ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೆ. NIOS ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಇದು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲು ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. NIOS ಇನ್ನೂ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ? ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ 34 ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದು
NCERT ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ NCERT ಇದೆ.
ಇವಾಗ
ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೋ ತಿಳಿಗನ್ನಡ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಏನು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ NIOS ಮಾಡೋದು ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತಾ?
NIOS ಮತ್ತು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. NIOS ಹೋಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊತಾರೆ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್.
ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಎರಡು NCERT ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಡಿವೈಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಲೆವೆಲ್ A, ಲೆವೆಲ್ B, ಲೆವೆಲ್ C ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗಿರುವಂಥ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇವ್ರಿಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 2 and 4 ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಬುಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 3 and 4 and 5 ಒಂದೇ ಬುಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೊರತು, ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೊರತು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದು NIOS ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್.
Typically prepared based on the learner's pace of learning.
Pace of
learning.
Okay.
ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಜೂನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಮಾರ್ಚಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. NIOS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್ A, ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್ B, ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್ C ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಿವೆಲೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 1 to 4, 5, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Primary, middle and high school.
Exactly. Okay. And these clusters are prepared based on the child's intellectual developmental stages.
You mean to say that is a non-linear process or a linear process?
It is a non-linear process. Okay. Because, for example, NIOS ali, before you complete age of 15, you can finish your 10th standard, which is not there in regular standard. Okay. As far as syllabus and the contents of the syllabus are concerned, it is prepared by NCERT. The treatment is different. The treatment is different in the sense that here you have, as he was mentioning, 72 different topics are available for a child to choose from. 7th standard ಮುಗಿಸಿ ನಾನು ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
Will that be recognized? Suppose if a child choose the subjects of its choice and opt for doing medicine or engineering, will the certificate issued say earlier age? Generally at the age of 15 or 16, a child will complete SSLC, what you call 10th standard.
Okay.
Even before that age, if a child is able to complete that kind of an education, if the child is eligible for appearing for CET examination, if it is a non-linear process.
It is eligible.
Eligible.
It is eligible.
If suppose at the age of 11 or 12, if the child completes.
We have students who have completed post-graduation by the age of 15 and PhD by the age of 18.
That is allowed in NIOS also?
Yes, it is irrespective of the board.
Fantastic.
Why
it is not been popular, sir? If this facility is there, I'm just out of curiosity.
Because
It is
nobody
not been
advertises
propagated properly.
It is not advertised so much.
Not educated. Actually, sir, this is there from 1967 or 68.
Yes.
I got to know only recently. If we were
This year
aware,
I came to know.
yes, if we were aware, we could have done it long back.
No.
So,
See, though I'm an education consultant, many of the parents started asking, getting admission in such schools.
Right.
I was wondering why it is not possible, why it is not
No,
been
as I
advertised,
said-
run by such people. Are they dominating NIOS? Not to bring it to the limelight.
To a large
People
extent,
should not
yes.
get it.
Yes,
No,
yeah.
we do.
What's conditioned somewhere to go to school? Because when the schools were started by the British, it is not even British, it is actually the missionaries. They wanted the child to come to school because they had an ulterior motive. This is how the whole thing began. So we started getting conditioned to sending the child to the school, and we also started believing that the child is taught discipline, child is taught character, because all those claims they made.
and not just that, sir. Our parents were not educated, so they Nobody
That's
is
what
there
I'm
to explain them this kind of education is available. Maybe
No.
even
Government.
Education part
some
separate. See,
initiative.
please understand. I will certainly not degrade my
Sir, if
forefathers
you don't mind, can I-
because at the same time they were also more open in terms of learning something new, which was actually exploited in terms of the shift from education. And if you look into the history again, when the British took over the education system, I don't know how many of you are aware, they started with Sanskrit schools saying that no, there is a different way of teaching Sanskrit. They made that as a language, not as a learning.
Correct.
Okay? Then slowly they replaced that Sanskrit with English. You getting the point now?
Agree.
So, over a period of time, we have come to an understanding that going to school is very important. Number one. Second thing, there was a change in lifestyle. Earlier, we were agrarian society where people were more into trades and agriculture. Correct?
Agree.
Parents had time to take care of children. Whereas today, we have parents working, both parents working, and the parenting is outsourced. Correct? We have play homes today, which concept was not there at all. Okay, so slowly we started, and that is where schools started pitching in. So we started with the baby care centers, we started with creche, we had LKG, UKG concept, preschool learning,
Correct.
and the school said we will provide all the facilities. Parents were very happy.
That's true.
But what happened in reality? Parents lost touch with the child.
Because of not taking responsibility by the parents.
Absolutely.
Bonding is missing.
Okay, this is how the deterioration has happened. So even when NIOS was available, the schools dominated because they advertised so much. Now let me ask you, anybody who sent their child to Chaitanya Techno School?
No.
Okay, I mean I understand. I mean these kids they cannot, but then there are maybe you have another child who goes to Chaitanya Techno. What is the claim by Chaitanya Techno?
They want 100% result, that's all.
No.
They study even after school hours.
Why?
School name.
Chaitanya Techno says that we will prepare your child for IIT JEE from standard 5.
Correct.
Only to become only doctors and engineers, not other categories.
I don't have a problem with
That is
that.
the main goal, no, sir. Most of
I
the
don't have a
institutions-
problem with that. My question is, have you really understood your child? Does the child really want to become a doctor or engineer?
That's correct.
Have you done an aptitude test for the child?
Most of the parents nowadays in this generation, they expect their child to become either doctor or engineer.
No.
Most of them.
Wait. This is where I am coming to. Now Chaitanya and Narayana also for that matter, they started advertising that we will prepare your child for JEE from 5th standard.
Right.
And the parents fell into a trap
Yes.
because they never used their intelligence.
Absolutely no physical activities at all.
Exactly. I have interacted with the principal. She admitted because see, I go with a background of psychology. I asked, ma'am, are you really doing justice to the child?
So in fact, they choose such kind of building where there is no playground at all.
No, they violate
They
it
don't
because there is a
need to.
guideline for
Yes, yes,
establishing a
they have
school,
to
they
do
violate
this.
it.
Yes.
Government just granted the license just like that.
Okay. And she said, sir, I admit, I know most of these children, by the time they come to 10th standard, they are emotional wrecks. She admitted openly, I'm telling you. But will she do it in an open forum?
No, they cannot.
She will never. Okay. So yes, NIOS is there. Government does a little bit of job here and there. They do, take part in few educational shows and things like that. But the kind of advertisement that schools do.
No, the reality is, again, with due respect to those people who are running institutions, nowadays run by either business magnates, or politicians, not real educationalists. There is a
Very
problem.
few educationists, and please understand, they also are in a trap because it's all about making it workable, commercially viable.
So I have a question. Now, for the children who are having the learning disability,
Okay.
learning problem. For them, will there be any number of chapters are reduced or anything like that? Like if they are giving the book for entire NIOS is the same book, they are not going to differentiate. But for these kind of children, will there be any special concession like only first chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter?
Okay.
Just what
I think you've touched upon a very interesting and important point. Every child who has been identified and certified to have learning disability or any of these issues, okay, there are certain provisions made under the provision of different acts, which includes UNCRPD, okay, Persons with Disabilities Act, as well as Rights to Education Act. Okay. Number one, irrespective of the board, whether it is ICSE, CBSE, state, NIOS, irrespective of this. Okay. Number one is the discrimination. No discrimination to be made between the so-called normal and these children. Okay. The child should not be detained. This is what I was talking about these schools. Okay. The child cannot be detained. You can't withhold results. You cannot create physical or emotional barriers for the child in the school. That means it's about discrimination. You cannot do that. Coming to the exam part of it. If you get a proper certificate, because you need to have that, and you submit it to, irrespective of the board again, when you submit the certificate, these children get certain concessions. For example, child has a little bit of problem with numbers, they can use a simple calculator during the exam. The child gets 1 hour extra time, it is 30% of the regular time. If the exam is for 2 hours, they get, let's say, about 40 minutes extra. Okay? If the exam is 3 hours, they get 1 hour extra. If child has dysgraphia, which is writing problem, they get a writer to write the exam. If the child has dyslexia, they have a problem with reading, the child gets a reader to read the question paper. The reader will tell them what is the question. Okay? So like this, you have provisions for children with learning disabilities. This is also extended to few other categories. For example, slow learner is a child who has learning disability along with a slightly compromised IQ. Okay, they also get the same provisions. So you have these provisions available. Yes, interestingly, I missed on this. In regular school, where they have 6 subjects, 3 languages and 3 subjects, right? They get an exemption from the other 2 languages other than medium of instruction. So if the child is in English medium, they don't have to study in Hindi and Kannada. Okay? If the child has a problem with numbers, dyscalculia we call it as, it impacts their science as well as maths performance, and the parents can opt for an exemption from these 2 subjects. Instead of science and maths, you will have other alternative subjects which are available. Whereas in NIOS, from cluster C, 8th standard itself, you don't have to choose the subject at all. Okay. So you have that much relief or exemptions available to children with these issues. Now in NIOS, whether I have learning disability or slow learner, I don't need to get into that at all. I don't like maths. I will not study maths. I can choose my subject. I can choose psychology, I can choose journalism, 72 topics are available.
At the school level, it is really a plus point for the present generation.
Sir, this is what I was just discussing before you came. Okay?
Amazing.
We have close to 30% of the students who require support. Okay? And there are close to 12 lakh students writing board exams every year. You know what is the number of people availing exemptions? It is less than 2,000.
Oh, you are.
So now I hope you understand the
Do you
situation.
think that it's not been brought to awareness to the people? That is one of the drawbacks. Our government is not really taking seriously about
Government
choosing the subject of their choice. That matters.
Government plays a very limited role according to me. In the sense that yes, government can create awareness. Okay. Unfortunately, we get into this trap, government should do everything. Then what am I here for? Do I have no responsibility about my child at all?
But how do the child get recognition apart from the recognition from the government?
Okay.
For
See,
survival, for a call, the job oriented.
Now, please understand, sir, here. I want you to understand this first. Who chooses to put the child in the school?
Parents.
So who should know?
Parents.
Child never asked you to put in the school, right? We believe that the school is going to educate. So it becomes my responsibility what kind of school I am putting my child in. We have one big school here, closely, I think they charge something like 1.8 lakhs per annum. The parents came to me and they said, we have a complaint from the school that my child doesn't know to read and write. 6th standard, it's a girl. And they also tell me that, sir, when we admitted the child in LKG, we were told your job is only to pay the fees on time. Rest, everything we will take care of. And in 6th standard, they come back to the parents and say, your child doesn't know how to read and write. She doesn't fit into this school. This is our rule.
Then what they were doing, the school people, when they promised the
And the parents do not have the guts to ask this to the school. Okay. Ask me, I don't blame the system.
Okay.
Then also.
Because system has made the provisions. The problem is known. We know what is this thing. We know the limitations.
Why should we encourage for such system
Okay.
if it is against?
Now, see, government also will campaign to an extent. Now, whose government? And we are not interested in that. No, why should the government do it? We believe that schools are going to educate our children. Let me tell you, okay, let me ask you. You said you are an educational consultant.
Yes, sir.
I would like to know, sir, what exactly you do.
Not except counseling. I don't counsel students.
That's okay.
The rest of the thing, I'm into most of the thing getting permission from the government level. If a person wants to establish a school or institution.
Okay.
I'm into only the commercial aspects like selling and buying of institution, providing teaching and non-teaching staff, providing students, providing vendors, all these kind of activities having more than 32 years experience.
Wonderful.
I am associated with 350 institutions. Pan-India.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear this.
I am also an advisor member for embassy office Ivory Coast as an educational consultant. Serving for more than 11 years.
Yes.
Then this is a brief introduction.
I am so glad to hear that. Okay. Because why I asked you this question is, since you have a touch with the institutional
Yes,
okay, we have documents like NEP, we have documents like
next question was that did Karnataka government really encouraging that part?
so we have NCF. NCF now is old, actually it is 2005, it is supposed to be revised. It was supposed to come in 2020, which has not happened yet. Okay. But are the provisions of NCF implemented? They are not. Okay, let me share with you my personal experience. Okay. I conduct training program for teachers. I give a small test to the teachers. Okay. I ask them to write down 5-letter words in English in 5 minutes. I give them 5 minutes time and I tell them you are supposed to write 5-letter words in English. Okay, and after 5 minutes, when I check how many words they have written, the highest I have come so far is 27. And this was an English teacher who happens to be the principal of the school. And this test is actually from NCF 2005. NCF 2005 says they define minimum learning levels grade wise. When we talk about assessment here, the assessment is nothing but that. Grade appropriate assessment is what we call it as
TET, no?
Huh?
teaching,
No.
training.
No, not TET. Okay, this is called as MLM, minimum learning levels. A second standard child is supposed to know so much, third standard supposed to know this much, fourth standard this much, fifth standard this much. We have like that. So when we do the LD assessment particularly, if the gap is more than 2 years, only then the child is considered as at risk of learning disability, not at learning disability. At risk of learning disability, because these terminologies are very important.
Huge difference.
Pardon?
Huge difference is there.
Huge difference, yes.
What next?
Okay, when we say at risk of learning disability, that means there is a possibility of helping this child to come up to the regular level through remedial teaching. This is where remedial teacher comes in. They teach the child how to learn, not what to learn. Because the gap is in teaching learning methodology.
Do you have a set of such teachers in your institution?
We have a network.
Yeah, you have.
Yes, we have.
Who can contribute
Oh,
when
yes.
it is required
Yes.
from different institutions?
Are they conducting any online classes?
Pardon?
Are they conducting online classes?
Of late, I have seen some special educators offering online classes, but personally, my comfort levels are very low. Because the child requires a slightly, you need to emotionally connect to the child with doing special education.
That makes a lot of difference.
Lot of
One to one.
difference. Yes.
Agree, but when you don't have the centers in different places, so like North Bangalore.
Okay, now as far as special educators are concerned, they are at their own places. We don't expect them to come here. In fact, we also want to move out. Only thing is, the challenge is for me
To train them.
to train and market the concept again.
To be frank with you, the purpose of me visiting here to
Okay.
increase that area.
I'll be very happy to work.
So enlighten more children
Absolutely.
in the institution.
Yes.
Because institutions, they are suffering a lot.
Yes.
They can't express. They have started the schools, institutions, unable to bring the students
To
equal
that
level
level,
to the expected
Exactly.
mark.
So this is a typical dilemma that I have. When you go to institution, they just don't want to admit that they have a problem. They put up a brave front. No, my system is perfect. Okay. Only when you go a little deeper, probe deeper, things come out.
You are the best person to analyze.
Yeah.
Because accepting the reality is a challenge.
Yes. So coming back to this particular exercise now, I told you, 27 was the maximum, and
What was your expectations?
NCF defines that a 5th standard child should be able to write at least 40 words of 5 letters each in 5 minutes.
Wow.
It's about the vocabulary of the child. Tell me, how many schools know this? Forget about NIOS, sir. How many schools know this? The principal didn't know. Okay. Because we believe that schools do so much for them. I mean, I don't question this thing. They are doing a real good job in many cases. Okay. And there are inherent challenges. Let us understand that also. But at the same time, at least, what is the amount of updation I am doing? That is very crucial. Okay. And somewhere I also felt that as a fraternity, the psychology departments have not really done much. In fact, when I have interacted in several psychological setups, okay, the standard answer, tumba misuse ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ sir. And that is when I worked on the statistics. Misuse ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎಷ್ಟು misuse ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, misuse ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು? Sir, at least 10% of the students are availing exemptions under learning disabilities. I can say, okay, maybe some amount of misuse is happening. This is 0.01%. Huh? And you call it as misuse? Okay. So this is where we stand today. But interestingly, yes. For example, as you was mentioning, there are many schools who have their own NIOS segments. So what they do is, for example, I know in DPS they have F section for NIOS. Correct? I have done all this research to find out, which school is at what place. Okay, in fact, I think it was DPS North. There was one boy who was selected for sub-junior team, Indian cricket team.
Actually, this year we joined her there. We don't know.
Okay, you may not be knowing, I know this. 2 years back, this boy was selected for the sub-junior team. And the DPS advertised this. One of our students is joined, and I know he is an NIOS student. And for that matter, Dravid is an NIOS student, Dhoni is an NIOS student. Okay, so never ever think that NIOS is substandard, low grade, no. It is equally competent.
No, it is more convenient and comfort.
Absolutely.
It creates comfort zone for the children.
Absolutely.
Especially during the process of learning,
Yes.
it helps a lot. The system, what I am talking about.
The only thing here is, of course, one challenge for the parent is they have to make the arrangements.
Because parents have not, shifted to that kind of environment to
Yes.
train their children.
I was in Mysore some time back, and I got to know that there are a lot of people who have returned from abroad. They put up some farm of their own, okay, and they educate their children through NIOS. They have taken the responsibility of educating the child. The child grows in a natural environment. They assist the parents in the
Yeah, even I
farm
heard
and then things like that.
they stopped sending them to the school.
Yes, yes, they have stopped sending the child to the school.
They train the children apart from the academic requirement.
See, no, these are all standalone institutions. NIOS is a national board which can reach out everywhere. Okay, and second option is, it is not just about degree and things like that. We have courses which are certificate courses of 6 months to 2 years, apart from the board exams.
But is it mandatory for them to complete the 10th standard? Or is it,
See, 10th is considered as a milestone which is going to shift now.
okay.
With NEP, it's going to 12th. Yeah.
Even considering the age proof and other?
Which one? NIOS, yes, you can do that.
No. Do they consider 12th standard marks card or 10th
Okay.
marks card?
So for these kind of slow learner, such students, how do you consider? Because if they are not in the position to do 10th or 12th, whatever it is,
Okay.
is there any occasional training where they
He
can?
mentioned that, right? So you have a set of subjects. You pick the subjects based on the child's comfort level.
Okay.
Have one occasional course. And coming to, you were asking something. Age proof. Okay. Now earlier 10th standard marks card was considered as age proof
Standard
because we did not have the birth certificates. I have not seen my birth certificate.
We are not.
Okay, my age proof is my 10th marks card. Today birth certificates are there.
That
So-
is mandatory.
Which one?
Birth certificate.
Yeah, it has become mandatory. So as a proof of birth,
Yeah, not required.
it may not. It doesn't hold water anymore.
So that means they are supposed that kind of the generation
Yes.
when they started implementing as a mandatory.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
1987 or 80 something they
Yeah,
decided
there
to
are-
make it as a mandatory.
Foreign NRIs, they keep asking for getting a duplicate birth certificate. They keep asking for,
Yes.
but it is not available. That is banned.
Correct.
Within 3 years, they have to get it corrected.
Yes.
If any mistakes are there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, even after that you can get it corrected, but it is a cumbersome process. You have to go to the magistrate
Give
court,
magistrate court.
and the court has to give an order.
Yeah. Though it is even
Yes, yes.
you spelling even one letter that matters.
They cannot do that.
Huge difference. But my another question, me attending this program, do the present schools have incorporated artificial intelligence as an integral part of the program in the academics, which will be useful in their lives? It is a limited one, not as a full program. That see, what hogodu anta
ಹೌದು.
So in the day-to-day life, AI is going to be implemented in the school level itself. Because I heard in other countries, they have already implemented with
It's
some,
been partially implemented
in the school level.
in the school level. Few
Fantastic.
schools they have done it on their own. But government has not made it mandatory per se.
ಸೊ NIOS ಫ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೂವಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತೆ AI ಎರಡೂ ಇದೆ.
Correct. ಇದೆ, but not mandatory.
Sir, then I have to discuss in this regard in the next convenient time to promote this
Yes.
in the interest of welfare of the children.
Certainly.
There are many institutions who are willing to implement,
Correct.
but they don't have the supporting.
Wherewithal, yes. Because India is a very typical country, sir. There are few schools and the people, unless it is pushed down the throat, it is not taken. And some people, before everything, anybody else takes it up, they start doing it. Okay. So yes, unless the government makes it mandatory, I don't think every school will have it. But possibilities trend. Naturally, people will be interested.